Hello and welcome to another episode of Inside the Boardroom. I'm your host, Mel Schaefer. Now today we're talking to ValOre Metals. The company is a Canadian exploration company known for targeting undervalued high potential assets that have seen significant prior investment and hold real upside. ValOre is poised to strengthen its portfolio through a proposed merger with South Atlantic Gold, a move designed to unlock value for both sets of shareholders. Joining me now is Jim Paterson, CEO and Director of ValOre Metals. Jim, great to have you here.
Hi, Mel. Great to be here.
So if we could start with the big picture, what are ValOre's strategies and what sets your team and approach apart in the mining space?
Yeah, I think I can break it down to three things: the value in our asset base, the team, and the upside for shareholders. In terms of the value of the asset base, ValOre has exposure to platinum and palladium through our 51,000 hectare Pedro Branco PGM project in Brazil, a little over 2.2 million ounces at a little over a gram of palladium and platinum in an inferred resource category with lots of upside near surface mineralization. And also ValOre has a 51% ownership interest in a company called HUC, which is a privately held company that has about 91,000 hectares of ground just to the east of the Athabasca Basin in Saskatchewan. Right in prime uranium territory. So it's a great ownership position there. So that would be the value in the asset base. In terms of the team, ValOre is a member of a group called Discovery Group. You can look us up at discoverygroup.ca. And we've had a ton of exploration, discovery, and M&A success as a group. And then individual members of ValOre's board and management team on the ground have had great success running exploration programs, making discoveries, and then having some exits that are quite accretive to shareholders. That's in uranium, in coal, in gold, in base metals. And now our team is fully focused on the Brazilian precious metals district that we're working on in Ceará State. And then the last point would be upside for shareholders in terms of market timing. We think that there's lots of pressure building on the buy side for platinum, for uranium, and we've got a lot of news flow to deliver into that very positive market sentiment.
So you've announced a proposed merger with South Atlantic Gold. Can you talk a little bit about what this means for ValOre and for the South Atlantic shareholders?
Yeah, sure. I think simply put, increased scale, increased resources, and focus on the exploration of these two projects. So if you look at a map, our project is literally across the road from South Atlantic's gold project. And if we combine our 51,000 hectares, which is a palladium platinum project, a PGM project, with South Atlantic's gold's project, which is about 48,000 hectares, we get a 100,000 hectare precious metals district. And it is the ultimate in synergy in our mind. So the scale is very helpful to have a big project. We're quite successful at raising capital, so we'd be able to raise capital to really ramp up exploration and focus on making discovery on their project as well as ours.
So I wanted to get a little bit more into that. For the people who might not be quite as familiar, can you give us some background on the South Atlantic assets and how they complement your current portfolio?
Well, the proximity is huge in terms of complementary projects. It is, in some cases, it's probably less than an hour drive from the area where we base our operations, which is a town in Brazil called Capital Mor, to South Atlantic's gold zones that they have in their inferred resource. And so it's within an hour we can access both projects. So there's huge synergies from a people, from an access and an infrastructure perspective. And then from what's really exciting to us and our shareholders, I think, is that we have over an 80-kilometer belt, a PGM belt, so palladium and platinum. And across the street, there's a 50-kilometer long underexplored gold belt. And so we can use the same team, finance that team, and really ramp up activities to the benefit of both shareholder base.
Is there anything that you can say to investors wondering about the timing or the rationale behind this transaction?
Well, I think the rationale I've definitely covered in terms of they're 1 and 1 equals 3 here in this transaction. The timing is imminent. The shareholders are having a meeting on June 13th. So shareholders as at May 7th, the record date of May 7th, are able to vote at that meeting. And that's coming up in a little under 2 weeks.
A lot of the talking heads, Eric Sprott, some of the big mining guys are all talking as well about there being looking like there's going to be an imminent boom in the junior mining space as well after such a long bear market.
Yeah, and in particular, specifically, Eric Sprott has invested in a couple of different gold projects in Brazil. So that's very exciting. So our precious metals project, PGM project, is in Brazil, and you've got a lot of Canadian investors and a lot of Canadian companies, and as well, big Brazilian investors now supporting the mining sector in Brazil.
Yeah, it sounds like there's lots for investors to be watching for. So we'll be watching closely as ValOre Metals moves forward with this deal and continues to build long-term value. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks, Mel.